Morning. I won't say good morning because mornings aren't good. Good and morning, those things don't go together. It's time for my 3-month exercise in futility. And I started the whole thoughts spilling from a brain left ajar after my last see, I can't even think. It's so early. My last appointment with the psychiatrist that was, completely and utterly useless and utterly unhelpful. So I get to do it all over again. My husband's coming in with me this time. Maybe she'll listen to him. But I've sort of given up all hope on the joke that is mental health care. They just don't give a shit, and the NHS doesn't have the funds to give a shit, and that's what it all boils down to. So anyway, I'm going to get ready. Hopefully the next time you see me, I'll be looking a lot better than this. Later. Looking a tiny bit better now. Dressed, out of breath, sweating. But ready to go and get this over with. Oh my gosh. So I'm back. Sweating and out of breath after the trek to and from the hospital to see the psychiatrist. But the amazing thing is, there actually was maybe a good result. We'll see. I'll probably be back in a bit before I put all of this video together with some more info about it. Jamie being there, I think really helped her understand what's going on somewhat better than I've been able to get across to her alone. So anyway, I'm exhausted now from being out and walking all over town to get there and back, and I'm gonna have a coffee and a salted caramel cookie and try to recover a bit and then be back. Here's Rincewind trying to get into the salted caramel cookies. You're not getting them. They're mine. Well, and Jamie's, but mostly mine. Alright, so I'm back now after my fortifying cup of coffee and not one, but 2 salted caramel and Belgian chocolate cookies. And I can tell you about what happened at the psychiatrist's today. We went in. We didn't have to wait long. Usually there's quite a long wait in the waiting room from the time that you go in and announce that you're there. But we hadn't been there 5 minutes before we were called in. This time there wasn't a student doctor or whatever in there with us as well. It was just the same psychiatrist that I've seen the last couple or 3 times. I say that because with the NHS, it may change, and I have seen a few different ones. since my initial diagnoses of depression and anxiety and borderline personality disorder. The doctor that I originally saw, who I really did like, he's gone now. And then I saw a few other ones come along, and now I'm finally seeing this lady psychiatrist, doctor, who's been there for the last, as I say, 2 or 3. I've seen, 2 or 3. This was probably the 4th time I've seen her. And as in my previous thoughts spilling out of a brain left ajar posts, have conveyed, I've expressed my utter frustration with this doctor and with mental health, with the mental health service in general. I just really thought that I wasn't being heard, and also that it was a twofold thing, that I wasn't able to get myself across like I wanted to, and that they weren't able to look and actually see the magnitude of what's going on with me. So today I brought Jamie in with me, and he doesn't like to go to these things, not because he doesn't care, but he likes talking to people probably less than I do, and I just told him to try to convey to her how my mental state affects him, which he did, and I think that was a big contributor to her deciding to move in a different direction with the medication. The first tack she took was dealing with anxiety, but when we got down to it, it's the chronic low mood, really, that is the more severe and for lack of a better term here, more day-to-day troublesome, that needs to be dealt with first. Because of my lack of tolerance for the evil side effects of so many of antidepressants, one of the things they do when one antidepressant isn't sufficient after they've run through all of the antidepressants, as they've done with me, is to subscribe, or prescribe even, subscribe to this channel, but a doctor prescribes medicine. I do know the difference, Pacific and specific. Where was I? Okay. So one thing they do is that they will prescribe a combination of these antidepressants. But because of my low tolerance to, especially the big bugaboo, being unable to orgasm, side effect of a lot of antidepressants, she was loath to trying to add another antidepressant in with the duloxetine. As I've mentioned before, what duloxetine gives me is no help to anxiety or depression. But what it does do is it helps with pain, and it's an antiviral, so it helps me to overcome a lot of cold and flu viruses that would have used to leave me in bed for weeks on end or months. And that's a big help to overall, functioning. Maybe, it's not helpful with mood, but it does help. Obviously, if I'm down with cold and flu, I can't sing, I can't gig, and I can't, and home wise, I can't get the kids to and from school easily, or at all, if I'm down with something like that badly. Her first tack was to try to add something for the anxiety, along with me continuing to take duloxetine, because it does help me in that regard that I mentioned. But then, as I said, we as we got to talk more about it, it was more the low mood that needed to be addressed. I'm repeating myself, aren't I? Sorry about that. Yeah, that's when we got into that subscribe, prescribe nonsense. So anyway, instead of prescribing one of these other antidepressants that might affect things in a way I really don't want, she's going to try me on a low dose of a mood stabilizer, which years ago is what the mental health liaison that I talked to when I first, before I even got seen by community mental health, had said that she thought I should be on. The one that I will be trying out is lamotrigine. They give me this little pamphlet here to read about it. So she's starting me out on a very small dose of that to see how I go on it, and to see if it will improve mood and lethargy. It may also help with some pain as well. And I'm to take this for a few weeks and see how I go on it, and then instead of waiting 3 months to be seen again, she will see me in 6 weeks to review and see how we go from here. Whether we also add something for anxiety specifically, or see if we continue on with the lamotrigine. Yeah, I haven't really looked at, they always give the the actual names, not like the pharmaceutical names for things, like when I was on Prozac, evil stuff, it wasn't called Prozac, it was called fluoxetine. So I'm not actually sure what lamotrigine is in the pharmaceutical world. And I'm not even going to look it up, because I'm probably going to find a lot of scary stories about it, and I want to give it an honest try and see if it really will, bring me some level of doing what it's supposed to do, stabilization. She's also wanted me to go for an ECG to check out my heart. I'm going to do it basically to please her. I mean, I know that there's nothing they can do for my heart as far as in regards to giving me any more energy. I have a heart rate that's too fast. That's already been determined. My heart runs, my resting heart rate runs all the time, as if I jogged, or a normal person jogged, and then so So no wonder I'm like naturally running tired to begin with. My heart rate is elevated all the time. And that's just something I was born with, apparently, and there's nothing they can do about it. And unfortunately, it's not life-threatening. It's one of those non-life-threatening things. It's life-annoying. Um, but I will go for that. I was supposed to have rehearsal tomorrow with Chris, but I'm hoping that he'll do evening instead of morning. So because we do have gigs coming up and we need to rehearse. Uh, um, but I'll go for that ECG that fortunately I could do with my local doctor rather than having to go into Leicester to the hospital, because that'd just be another nightmare situation of trying to get there, and all of that. So yes, this is what's going on. It's something new. It's something I think could be positive. We'll see. We'll watch it closely, obviously, and watch this space. I'm not only doing this series of vlogs, blog posts, but I'm also doing a vlog post series. That's going to take up a lot of my time, so I'm not sure how often I'm going to get to update, and I might, even though hi Tracy, my friend Tracy, she likes to hear me talk on these things. She likes these vlogs better than the written ones, but I may have to update by writing, because editing these things takes up time, and I've got far too much on my plate to do. So I don't know if how many of the spilling thoughts I'm gonna get done anytime soon after this one, but I will keep people updated on how this goes, because it may be something helpful. It may not. It may be absolutely fucking horrendous. We know how life goes. But I'm going to remain optimistic and somewhat hopeful here for this trial, and see how it goes. So that's it from me today, and thoughts spilling. Catch you later, and catch that other series of blog posts, which is called Now Hear This. It's about musicians that obscure musicians that shouldn't be obscure, ones you should know about and that are worth knowing. So yeah, catch that if you can. Anyway, laters.